I won't take more of your time, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, eh?
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
But
What I wanted this video to be was a post Milk Bar reaction video, and a little bit more information on what that video was and the process into creating that video. If you haven't seen the Milk Bar video yet, I encourage you to watch it first and then come back here. I'll put the link, I guess, right up here, so you can go and watch that. It's about a 20-minute long documentary, and or if not, let's just stay together then. So the Milk Bar video was something that I'd worked on for 4 years, and then it took a couple of different iterations, and then finally last year, at the end of the year, I decided no more fooling around. Let's piece something together. So it took maybe about a month and a half of full-time effort with myself and my team. So myself and 2 or 3 other people. And we pooled all our efforts in, and we created Saving the Pointe Claire Milk Bar. I say a month and a half, but it's because we had already worked on it for 4 years, the story and whatever, and we'd done many, many, many interviews. In fact, all the interviews that I've done for the Endangered Stories series, a lot of the times, the reasons why I've chosen those people is because they answered the first question, which was, do you remember the Pointe Claire Milk Bar? And if the answer was yes, then typically I would set up an interview date and then a pre-interview date where I'd discuss other things that we should talk about, and of course the Milk Bar. So of course I want to thank everybody who was involved in that video, in the Milk Bar video, everyone who had experienced the Milk Bar. I know that it's something that they probably just did once or twice, maybe 3, 4 times, maybe for a summer. So it's a little hard to pull tons of emotion out of a place that you just went and got ice cream at, like Steinberg's. People want to talk about Steinberg's. It's just a place where your parents used to go get groceries. That's all. But we all love Steinberg's. I digress. Let me continue with thanking people who were involved. There was a missing link in the people that I had interviewed. And that was to find someone who actually worked there. I mean, the owner, I understand, the owner had already passed away, and his son, who helped sort of manage the Milk Bar, had already passed away. So the next step was to find someone who actually worked there. The Milk Bar video was produced and was released to an audience in person January 11th, 2022. In December, we were working on it. And in late December, I got a tip by someone that they knew a friend of theirs who had worked there. I don't know how they got talking about it, but I said, can I interview them? Can I meet with them? I couldn't believe after 4 years that someone had messaged me and said, I think I know someone who worked there. And also it's the 11th hour. We're about to picture lock the entire story, which means that you don't move from there. You just add soundtracks and just little sprinkles and stuff. But sure enough, it was right before Christmas vacation. And I said, I called this guy, got his number. His name is André Lalonde. And I said, hey, this is going to sound crazy, but I'm obsessed about this place that I think you worked at like over 60 years ago. Can we talk about it? Oh, can I bring a camera? Can I bring 2 cameras? Can I mic you up? Do you mind being in a documentary that's going to be put in front of people at the Pointe Claire Library? Boom, 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 like bombardment. Thankfully, he was a really cool guy. And he said, sure, if you want to interview me or you want to talk to me, I'll be at Art Séguin Chalet, where he was doing some volunteering. He was he was the bartender, and he was setting up the bar. He says, I have like a half an hour. I said, I'll need 15, 20 minutes just to set up. So I got all my gear ready, and I went and I met him, and we sat down. And of course, the only thing that I knew about him was that he had worked at the Milk Bar for an undisclosed amount of time. I didn't know if he had memories of it. I didn't know if he was, if he was a visual person or he was just like, oh, I worked there, that's it. Needless to say, I just needed the sound bite that was, yeah, I worked at the Pointe Claire Milk Bar. I guess just to solidify the fact that this place actually did exist. And I thought, you know what, while I'm here, I'll just ask him some other questions. You know, he seemed like a really cool guy, and he spent some of his youth growing up in the village, Point Claire Village. So it's not long. It was maybe 25 minutes total, roughly, that I had spoken to him. A big portion of that was about the Milk Bar. And the other portion was just about sort of who he was and what he did and his little bit of his youth and his experiences in the village, and then what happened to him in his life after the village. This past Sunday, I released The Milk Bar on my YouTube channel, The Milk Bar Documentary. It had previously only been released to a live audience. It went live on YouTube at 7 o'clock, and at around 6:55, 6:50 p.m., I got a message that Andre passed away this past December 31st. I didn't know Andre that well. I met him for the first time at the chalet. I saw him maybe a dozen more times after that during 2023 at Studio 77, where I guess, what are they called? They're a little coffee group, you know, and they go there and they sit in the back right corner, and I don't know what they talk about, but they're... I'm sure it's life in the village as it was back in the 50s and so on. Anyways, if you go to Studio 77 early in the morning, you'll see the coffee group in the back corner, back right corner. And I'm very thankful that I got to know him for that short while at the chalet, because it was nice to see him subsequently after that. It's interesting when you interview someone, you do build a bit of a bond that when you bump into them later on, you have a little connection, like having an inside joke with someone. I know that he did a lot of volunteering. There's a lot of other people who know a lot more about him than I do, of course. And if you do, I encourage you to share your memories of him or anything about him that you think people should know in the comments below. The best that I can do to celebrate Andre Lalonde was to quickly produce the part of the interview that wasn't about the Milk Bar, but the part where I just asked him, about his life and who he was. It's not very long, but needless to say, I felt that I needed to share it. This is myself with Andre Lalonde in December of 2022 at the Art Séguin Chalet. Enjoy.
My name is Andre Lalonde.
So 52, you're 11 years old. 59, you're 18. That's important years.
Yeah, to me, yeah. I mean, we did our own fun. We create our own. Like there was.
There's nothing organized. There was hockey.
At those times, there was
hockey and baseball.
There was hockey. There was
organized.
But we used to have the la salle paroissiale, which is like it was a. Used to have a dance every Friday night, and.
Where would that have been? That building.
Where?
Yeah.
It would have been where the lawn bowling is right now, and the apartment building. On the Lourdes.
Yeah.
That's where that corner was all.
Yeah. People told me about that. It was like a rock and roll type of.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Used to have in the winter, the rink was there. It was like the community center. That's in English.
And
that's what it was.
They played baseball.
We played baseball there.
At a movie theater.
Yeah, no, that's it. Where the salle paroissiale is at.
Because it doesn't look like it's that big of a space. Maybe it's because the building.
It's quite a bit.
It's because the building maybe makes it look smaller than a baseball field. Like a baseball.
Oh no! Well, if you take away from the studio that's there now, you take all the way to Lantier, and the other side you go to where the curling is. So that's a big chunk. And the salle paroissiale was a long building. And they had dance, they had all kind of stuff in there. And then in the winter they had the summer balls. In the winter they had the ice rink.
So was it like a teenager? As a teenager,
that was a place to go. Every year they had the elected a queen and all this. It was a big thing. They used to sell tickets, and then like they do in Hudson.
Yeah.
Something similar to that. They had race on the ice, car race. So, you see, that's what I'm saying. We were making our own fun. every year in the point in the where the filtration is in the filtration, that used to be a park. And every year they used to have a tombolo. Tombolo, they call it.
I did a video of it, Tom Bullis.
Well, that's it. They used,
Memorial Park.
yeah, that,
Memorial Park.
yeah, but that's where. So that's for 2 weeks or yeah, 10 days or 2 weeks. The tombolo was there. That was a big dig.
But did you know because the people I spoke to about that place there where you went to dances, these are girls from Lakeside Heights, for like veteran girls. So you were mixing the English and the French.
Oh, yeah,
You were mixing
yeah.
in the,
Yeah, yeah, everyone was mixing.
what high school did you go to?
Point Claire in the village there. I just finished grade 9,
Oh, at the
Saint Rochin.
Saint Jean.
Yeah, before they fill up the water. before they
Filled up the
before
water.
they fill up
The swamp.
the swamp. Yeah,
The swamp.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it was not the swamp. It was water, and they fill it up to create the park.
Your parents moved to Point Claire?
Yeah.
Why did they move to Point Claire?
I guess that's where he got a job. He worked for a farmer by the name of Briet. He had farm, and he worked with him.
And you finished at Saint Jean with the priests.
Yeah, but that's where I finished with the school. Him, he finished with the city of Point Claire. After the last, I guess 10, 15 years, he was with the city of Point Claire. And I left in 1959 to
And
join the Navy. My brother was in the Navy. He retired. He did 25, 30 years. We were a family of 13 people, 13 kids. So there were times that one leave it was less too. we're,
13 kids?
we're a big family.
And you live in a house?
Yeah.
Is it still there?
Who, the house? We have this, but by then there was not that many. Some of them, like my brother was in the Navy. My other brother was in the Navy. Everybody married very young, so they were out. So
But the house is gone now?
no, the house is still there.
Oh, it's still there.
Yeah. When I left after the Navy, I went across Canada. There was, then I ended up working in Toronto for 15, 16 years. Then I came back in '83, and then everything.
Why'd you come back to Point Claire after only 5 years?
Not 5 years.
You lived here for 5 years or 6 years?
Yeah,
5, 6 years.
yeah. But I guess my family was still here,
Oh,
so I came back to.
okay.
But by then, I came back in '83. I was working for a company in Dorval Aviation, and they transferred me back to Montreal. I was with them in Toronto for 17 years, from 68 to '83. Then they transferred me back to Montreal. I operated Expo when Expo was on.
What do you mean?
When Expo in '67,
You operated.
well, the aircraft used to land in Saint Hubert, and I was in charge of making sure that they were parked, they were fueled, and all this. That's what I did.
When the tons and thousands of people were coming in,
Yeah.
was it a special job that was created because of Expo?
Yeah. Well, no, I had the job at the Dorval, but when Expo with Texaco, they decided to open a base at St. Hubert. That's where I was transferred to St. Hubert, and I ran it.
It was a temporary airport.
Just temporary, yeah. But now it's still but at the time it was military. But they gave us a field, a section of the field where we could park the aircraft, and we had custom on there. Like you didn't have
Holy shit.
the plane came in, they go through custom just like if they were at the airport. In Dorval.
It only lasted.
It lasted the time of the expo. When expo was over, everybody bailed out, but then they reopened it to the public after.
I won't take more of your time, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, eh?
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
But